Emily will have to run off now and do a nervous wee.
Okay. Well, it's good that you told everybody because we're live. Okay.
It's a little habit Emily has when we go on runs. Sometimes she has to find the nearest porta cabin.
Really?
She has to find the nearest
I always have to find a portaloo.
In the last 10 seconds before the race starts.
Always, yeah, because then I'm like, if I can't pee, then I won't be able to run because I'll be like, I need to pee, and I won't be able to run then.
All right. Why do you wait until the run, though? Would you not go a bit earlier, no?
No, I do. Yeah, it's a nervous wee. It's like it just comes upon you.
Yeah.
So when we get to a race, we have to find out where the porta cabins are.
Okay.
Yeah, the portaloos, not porta cabins. Portaloos.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I don't just like pee in random cabins.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Who have you been talking to?
Okay, go. So come here. We've been live for the last minute or so. So like that's a good introduction to what we're going to talk about. Just to point out that the person who's been talking about going for emergency nervous wees is our current member of the year, Emily. How are you getting on?
I'm grand. Delighted to be here.
Beautiful day. Yeah, that's cool. And then Maeve. Maeve, do you not win any awards recently? No.
She did.
A little one.
What's the little one?
For the second time.
The virtual member of the month.
The virtual member of the month. There's no such thing as a virtual anything. It's either something or it's not.
Oh, well, I didn't get a mug this time, so I presume it's virtual.
My one broke the last time anyway.
That's because you put gin in the mug. So come here. The mug is quarantined in the gym. Don't worry, Maeve. We'll get it to you. All right? Don't worry.
I'll be up tomorrow.
So come here. Let me do a brief intro. This is our member spotlight with Emily and Maeve of the gym, and we're gonna go into some deep and meaningful. No, we're not. We're just gonna talk about cake and dogs basically. And just to start us off, right, Emily. What we definitely know about you is that you absolutely love dogs. Is that fair to say?
I sure do, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What do we not know?
Beside me. Shit, that's my bookmark on the book that I've had beside my bed for a year now and haven't read, but Darcy's there.
Yeah. So, yeah. And is there anything that is different or interesting that we don't know about you? That would be my first question, Emily.
Something that people might not know about me and Maeve actually is we went to the same primary school. And in 6th class, we won the 3-legged race. So we were athletes, back in the day where, we showed promise, but it went all downhill then from there.
We were pals in a previous life. And then we split up when we went to secondary school. Yeah. Told you that before, but I wouldn't expect you to remember.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember that.
You've heard this story before.
It's in a filing cabinet somewhere.
Filing cabinet.
Yeah, we used to have play dates and all. I remember being up on Emily's once or twice.
Yeah.
And so come here, you've gone full circle from doing 3-legged races to doing 3-legged races together. Basically, that's the way it's working.
Yeah, it's doing 10K and stuff. Yeah,
nearly.
Yeah, it's gas, isn't it?
What's the furthest you've run? What's the furthest you've run together?
10, I think, isn't it? Pink run.
10.
Pink run, yeah. And what was the Lusk run? Was that 10 or 5?
That was 7 miles, was it?
Yeah.
7 miles, something like that.
That was the worst run ever.
Yeah, never again. Jesus.
Not found.
Very challenging. Very challenging.
Yeah. Promote fitness. Promote the fitness.
Just not in Lusk.
What's wrong with Lusk?
It was just an awful run. It was just misery up and down the dual carriageway with a wind and just absolutely horrible.
Towards the end of it, Emily just took off, but I remember we were at the same pace for most of it. You could see the finish line, and Emily she found
I just needed it to be over. Plus, I'd seen them laying out the spread beforehand, and there was some good cakes there, so I was like.
Maeve, give us something we don't know about you. What's something interesting apart from going to school with Emily? Something we might not know.
Oh, geez.
Or the guys in the gym might not know. Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, why didn't you prep me with these? question.
Because he likes to.
Oh God, I can't think of any
surprise.
We'll come back to that. Tell us what your favourite cake is, Emily.
Oh, has to be a coffee slice.
Coffee, just one.
Well, Lorraine Mackey got me a giant coffee slice for my 40th birthday. It was amazing. But then the little bugger, she had 3 slices of it. I only got 1, and she got 3 pieces.
Maeve, how about you? What's your cake?
I'd have to go for a Black Forest. Have to go for Black Forest.
Really?
It's a good choice.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Where do you get them? Like
a full one?
What do you mean? Where do you get them?
It's very kind of, it's very unorthodox. No, never Black Forest cow. It's a bit fancy. Like, how did you end up eating Black Forest gatos? Like, where's?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably a part of a birthday cake or something once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the school that you went to? Sorry, did you mention that?
School Katrina in Coolock.
Yeah, Artane.
Well, no, it's actually divided. The road, one side of the road is Coolock and one side is Artane.
Well, when I was there, it was
I grew up on the other side of the road.
On the Artane side.
Yeah.
So, which side is the posh side and which is not?
It depends who you talk to.
Depends who you talk
exactly.
to. Yeah. Is it kind of like Glasnevin Avenue in Ballymun? Is it kind of like that kind of the way people talk? No.
Well, Emily's still there. Emily didn't go far. She's only around the corner now.
And is that where you've lived, like, your whole life, kind of grown up, and is
Artane,
born and bred, yeah.
Wowzer! I'm a blow-in. What kind of used to be the go-to spots when you're growing up, the kind of pubs and stuff in the area? What was the
field up the road? Baggy cans and a naggin.
When you're over it, when you're over. I mean when you're over 18. No.
I used to go into places like Brussels and all.
Where?
I didn't go to the round Brussels and places like that. When I could get in. I looked very young. I was still getting asked for ID up to the age of 27, 28. So it was hard. It was hard for me to get served in pubs, like. So.
Yeah. And what about you, Maeve? Where did you go?
The L roundabout, really. Sheafawee, which isn't called. What's it called
the
now?
The shit.
Oh God.
I haven't been up there in a long, long time.
That's the Cock and Bull now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that
God?
Is that what it was? Is that because I remember the name? Is that what that's what the place was? The Sheafawee.
Yeah.
Really?
I'd still call it that now.
And what about what was it called? I think it was known as the Blacker. What was the real name for that one?
Yeah, the Black Sheep.
I went to the Blacker once in my life, because I was blackout drunk. Was how they got me there, and it was an experience I'll never forget.
Cheap drink.
Seared in my memory. But yeah, just one time.
You'd have a great night. You'd have a great night.
I think I was refused from there once at lunchtime. I used to work in the Clonshock. And I walked over for lunch and I said, can I just walk in for lunch? They're like, no, not today. I'm like, what? It's lunchtime.
Oh, you just wanted something to eat?
I just want something to eat. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Did they do food in the Blacker? I don't think it was that kind of place.
This is years ago, like I don't know, early 20s, about 5 years ago. Let's talk about some Jimmy stuff.
Back then.
What?
Maybe it was because you were all muscly back then, were you? Oh, maybe. They found you a bit intimidating back then, maybe.
Jesus.
Be that type of place.
Hold on a second. John, make sure you punish Maeve with the exercise later.
Edits. Shouldn't have gone live with us, Dave. Maeve's a renegade. So Dave, shouldn't have gone live.
Dave, you know when you were fit and you looked well. All them years ago. Okay,
it's all about the banter. It's all about the banter.
I know, I'm only messing. Right, let's talk a little bit about exercise. Seeing as you're slagging me, what's your favorite exercise in the gym, like or equipment? What's your favorite? Would you say?
I like the body weight stuff, like walkouts and stuff that you can just do straight away off the cuff, kind of.
Yeah.
All the body weight stuff, yeah, probably.
Why is that?
There's just not much thinking in them, you know. You just bam, bam, bam. You just get through them.
So it's that kind of style of training that's kind of
even though plank might be called a core exercise, you don't need anything for it, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Well, you can, but that's a different story. Emily, what about yourself?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually going to say the Prowler.
You miss the Prowler,
because I do miss it. And like when I first started in the gym, I used to actually feel physically sick when I used to walk in and see the Prowlers out and like knew that we had to do them. I'd be like, oh Jesus Christ, not this again. But like, there's just nothing like the feeling of being wrecked after doing a few Prowler pushes and then adding more weights and pushing and you're just dead afterwards. And it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially at the end of the session,
it's my best friend and worst enemy.
I can't. Yeah, you're convinced I can't go on anymore, and you manage to get through it, you know.
Get
a push and push.
When the weights are going on and on and on. Oh.
Yeah, is that a nice kind of, apart from like, okay, I've got to do this bloody exercise and I'm wrecked, but it's more, is it a mental thing as well as a physical thing? It's kind of like, you know, sense of achievement.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
And had you done anything, like what had you done before in terms of training and stuff? Like, was it all new to you when you came in? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, every single thing. I was 38 before I set foot in your gym, and that was the first gym I'd ever been in.
And now you just won't leave.
Now you can't get rid of me. Yeah, I'm like banging at the door. When are you going to open again?
Maeve, what had you been doing? I think you've done a little bit of stuff before, haven't you?
Yeah, I did a couple of bits. Yeah. Now, like, probably only started in my late 30s as well. I think I started off with curves. Do you remember curves? All the machines at the circuit. And used to go to that after work up in Art. That was in the Butley Business Park. And then I did, besides when I used to work in Smithfield, used to go over there to a place on my lunch hour. And then after I had the baby then and I was at home, I really wanted to get back, kind of stuck into something else. So she was probably 6 months and I started kind of going to places local, looking up places kind of local around. And I think you were I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I was looking at the Facebook page for a while, and I think you were the second place I went to. The first place I liked as well. It was a bit more of a man's gym, was a bit dusty and what have you. But I remember there was a lot more men in it, and that kind of turned me off a little bit. And then I won a competition then on your Facebook page.
You just did, on a whim.
On a whim, just never win anything in my life. I think I just had to share the post or something. And then, like, when I saw you saying, "Oh, Maeve tagged me, Maeve McCarthy's won," I was like, "Oh no!"
What have I done?
I really did. I thought, "Oh God, I have to reply to it." I couldn't ignore it, you know. I'm not like that. I just couldn't ignore it. And then I remember me first setting foot. It was all like that when I went in. Then the first time it was the evening. It was 5 o'clock. 5 or 6 o'clock, and it was a PT session I'd won. And it was all lads, and I said to myself, "Oh, here we go again," you know. And then they were actually, when that was finishing up, the super moms were coming in, and I'd seen that you did that on your website as well. So I was saying, right, I said to myself, right, I'll finish this thing that I won, and I want to get into the other group.
Yeah,
that's why. That's the way it was.
So you won a competition and you just stayed without saying anything. This is really good. I cannot wait to leave. Was it kind of like but come here, you actually did. I mean, I think when you get into that, you did start to enjoy it though. Like once you get over that initial.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Everybody, the lads were lovely. There was 5 or 6 of them there, and most of them are probably still there now. Yeah, they were lovely. The lads were lovely at it, and I did. I think the glute bridge was one of the first things I learned.
Yeah.
Glute bridge.
I remember your first session, to be honest with you. I remember you coming in and kind of knew you were a bit probably nervous and apprehensive. I didn't know you wanted to leave immediately though. Like that was something that you kept yourself.
No, the lads were all hanging around the counter, like, and I sat back. I just walked in and sat down, and I was like, "Oh God, I can't believe men again. It's just full of men." But little did I know.
And how do you feel now about it all? Like, how would you describe? What's the difference?
Addicted. I'd be lost without it. Without it. And then about a month later, then Emily came in.
Was it that close?
Yeah, even closer.
Yeah.
Part of the Mackie gang.
Yeah. So who's obviously apart from each other, who else are your gym buddies? Who would you say your gym friends?
There'd be Lorraine Mackey, obviously, aka Bridget.
Yeah.
There's Elaine, and Mr. B. When she left him out of the freezer, Mr. Burtonshaw.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
There's good shit, Gary. Gary's always got the good shit, which means food, really. Sending us pictures of nice food to torture us.
Yeah.
Who else? Well, Tracy we still see now and again, but she hasn't been in the gym for a while because she's had the baby and she's been busy with work and stuff. But
yeah.
Who else, Maeve? Like we're friends with everyone. Like I would never walk into a session and not know someone. I would have friends with the girls and the guys. It doesn't matter to me who's there in the session.
Nobody else would do that either.
Yeah.
No, there's no turning your backs to anybody or anybody.
There's no little clicks or any of that crap, which is really good.
No. Like I started off going to the morning group. No, I started off in the evening group.
Yeah.
And so I got to know everybody in that group. And then when you said to me, bring the baby along, I was like, grand, happy days, 10 o'clock in the morning. Then I started going to, and she'd sit there in the pram. So I'd know the girls then. I'd know the girls from the morning group as well. So like Mandy and Paula, and Paula's there longer than me. And then if anybody new coming in, like you know how they feel. You remember that feeling. So I'd never turn me back. I'd never ignore anybody. I'd always introduce myself to someone, Yeah. And everybody's the same in the place.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things.
Like you said about the apprehension coming in, Maeve, Emily, you kind of knew of somebody in there, didn't you, before you came in?
Well, Lorraine had started in the October, I think, or the November, and she said to me, David has a special offer on for the month of December. It's going to be €30 for as many sessions as you want. And I'd been planning on joining in January anyway. I was like, we'll just get Christmas over with and eat lots of stuff. And then, as you say, Christmas is only a few days. So, like, what are you basing, I'll wait till January. Christmas is a couple of days. Eat what you like, but, keep on training. So I was like, right, I'll start in the December, and I'll just, so I know where I'm going in January. I have a little bit of an idea in mind of what I'm going to be going into and doing each week and stuff. So my first night, Lorraine was there, I think, but God, I was so nervous. And you had me doing plate slides on my first night, and I actually ran into the toilet. I thought I was going to vomit, and I was in the toilet, and I was like, you could leave now, like. You could just run out because you don't know anybody. So you could just go if you wanted. And I actually considered it for a second, and I was like, cop onto yourself. It's your first session. You can't walk out of your first session. Like I'd be embarrassed for life doing that. So I swallowed the puke. No, I'm joking. I didn't puke really, but I thought I was going to. I went back outside.
You did a nervous wee.
Did a nervous wee. It's like, we'll get through this, have a nervous wee, be okay. Went back out, finished the session. That was the Monday, the 27th of November 2017. I remember the date. And I was like, oh, will I come back Wednesday? Came back Wednesday. Came back the Saturday, I think, either the Friday or the Saturday. Kept on coming, and now here we are 2.5 years later.
Brilliant. Just to reassure some of our viewers and listeners, we didn't actually force you to do play slides for the whole of that first session.
Not the whole session, but there was a lot of play slides involved for a newbie who wasn't used to working out and was just like dead after the warm up. I was dead because I was unfit, like.
Yeah,
and the soreness.
Yeah. Like, would you say for both of you, like, because I think you both probably came at it from a similar starting position, like it was kind of where you hadn't done anything in a while, so would it be fair to say that is kind of a worry that a lot of people would have coming in to start something? It's like, oh my god, I'm starting from nothing, you know? Like,
definitely.
That's normal.
Yeah. How did you, like you said, you just came back on the Wednesday, Maeve? Like, how did you really find you got over it? Or Emily, sorry, how did you really get over that, like in the first couple of weeks?
Because I just said to myself, look, you have to give this at least a month. You have to try it. Going once or twice is not going to, be a true reflection of what to expect, or you're not going to get any results, and you're just going to say, oh, I'm not going to bother. And then what are you going to do with your time? Go home and watch the soaps and eat crap on the sofa? Like, it's like, no, get off your ass and do something. You can't see. I'd lost weight initially by walking. It's actually weird. It's 4 years today since I decided to lose weight. And I remember it because it was the June bank holiday 2016. I was in my mum and dad's house on the Friday and we were ordering Chinese, and I didn't have scales in my house because I knew the weight was piling on, but I was like in denial. And I weighed myself at my mum's house and I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, you need to do something about this right now. So I had my Chinese that night. I enjoyed it. I was like, this is your last supper, so to speak. And then I started the next day. But I was walking a lot, and then I started doing Pilates, and I kind of plateaued. So I wasn't used to doing cardio or weights or anything like that. So going in, even though I would have been, good at walking and stuff, I would have got much better at walking over the year and a half or so. I was not used to working out in cardio or weights or anything. So was that
similar to, like, and I can understand where you wanted to start now. So Maeve, for yourself, was it a similar reason to get started? You mentioned having the baby and stuff. Like, was that kind of part of your decision making, or?
Do you know what was more for me was getting out of the house?
Right.
Because I was on maternity leave, and I'd literally wait for him to come in from work. He'd come in at 6:30. 10 minutes later, I'd be in the car, up, gone. It was about seeing people and having conversations and a laugh. It was definitely more than, like, I knew I needed to lose weight, and maybe the first time, and maybe because the first time I stepped in, and maybe because I made the initial contact, that I knew I needed to lose weight, but it became a let out. It became
social outlet,
because that's all. Like, it was the winter as well, and that's all I had was literally me and her at home all the time. So for me, like, it turned into, and it probably still is more, just an hour to myself.
You're not the only one that would say that, actually. That's true for a lot of people. It's like the outlet, it's the social aspect, it's the
and you don't realize it. You don't realize it straight away. I think we're all more disconnected from each other than we realize sometimes. It's like, and so finding ways to stay connected, I think, is important, and it's nice to see that, like, particularly now. Let's, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a little bit about what you're happiest with when it comes to what you've achieved and some results. And it doesn't have to be specific numbers or anything, just in your own words. Like, what do you think you've achieved, and by making the decision to start something? Emily, you said 2.5 years. What is it that you what things would you say you're happiest with in terms of your achievements? Have you reached your goals? Like, would you say, or is there still stuff you want to do as well?
I kind of had it in my head to be fit by 40. So I'm past 40 now, and I don't know if I'm like Mick O'Sullivan's always saying, oh, you can push yourself a little bit further and, create new goals for yourself. So, I mean, I'd never say, oh, I'm done now, I'm at my limit. I think I could definitely get fitter. I could probably get more toned. I do love my food though, so.
But the beauty about exercise and training is it allows you to eat a bit more of the nice stuff, though, you know. So.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And so what is it you'd say you've achieved then over the 2.5 years? What's your biggest kind of, someone asked you what?
Well, apart from like weight loss itself, just I just feel more me again. I feel in better shape both physically and mentally than I did since my 20s, I'd say. Like I eat better. My sleep, my God, my sleep has improved so much. Like I was a terrible sleeper. I used to wake up at like 2 and 3 in the morning. I'd be awake for 2 hours. Just my mind would be racing. And it was because I had no physical outlet. I wasn't tiring myself out properly. I was sitting in an office all day, and then I was going home and just eating junk and then going to bed, and then I'd wake up, be like, bing, you know, just mind racing. Just wasn't properly, you know, wasn't looking after myself.
On the treadmill kind of thing, on the life.
Yeah,
kind of
but not on your kind of treadmill. Yeah.
Yeah, on the life treadmill.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I would just say I'm a lot happier in myself. Little things don't get to me like they used to. I'm not as stressy. Now I am like quite like an emotional person, I would say, but I don't let things get to me as much anymore. I sleep well. I'm just happy with like just my fitness levels in general. Like I can run, I can walk, I can lift things, I can do things I couldn't have done like 5-10 years ago when I was younger. It's crazy, like.
Yeah. So. Maeve, what about yourself? What do you think over the last couple of years?
Yeah, just the energy, maybe. The energy that I have day to day.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, I look back on photographs and I wasn't, you know, 10 years ago I couldn't do that. I didn't have the get up and go that I have now.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'd say the energy that I have, and yeah, the sleeping better most of the time. Yeah, like that's it. When you go for a run or you're after doing a session, like nearly every day I have to do something to wear myself out.
Yeah.
I have to get that feeling, because then I know as well it'll help me sleep.
Yeah.
You know, and just the feeling like when you do your session or your run, then you hop in the shower and you get changed, and then
it's nothing like
run around. Yeah, it's brilliant. And then you know that now you're going to fall into bed and just conk out. It's just a feeling from exercise, and you know, there's nothing like it.
Yeah. Why let's try to bring this to its conclusion. Why would you say anybody watching in on this should consider joining this bunch of lunatics? Emily, do you want to start?
Because getting fit is probably like a bonus of it, because you're going to go along and have a great laugh with the people, and before you realize it, you'd be like, oh, the session's over, I've done that, I've burned my calories. It's like you don't even realize you're working out because you're having the crack with really nice people.
Yeah,
loads of banter.
What do you think, Maeve?
Yeah, you just do it. Just do it. Nothing to lose. Just go for it. You won't be sorry. I don't think anybody will be sorry. You know, you can't have the wrong type of person. Like, everybody's going to be nervous or whatever, but just do it. Everybody will be fine. You know, you'll be grand.
Yeah, I would say that if you're nervous, we'll give you a nice big hug and a handshake, but we can't do that at the minute. Like we would have done that before.
We'll give you some hand sanitizer.
So, we'll throw you a bottle of hand sanitizer. Come here, girls. I'm just going to say.
we're both Scorpios. We never said that.
Yes, Scorpio power. So's Lorraine Mackey. So's John Moore. There's loads of Scorpios in the gym.
There's only a few days between us, isn't there?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does it mean? I don't believe in that stuff at all.
I do, to a point. Scorpios don't like change. Scorpios don't like change, but we're very tenacious. So when we get like we get our teeth into something, we stick with it. We're very loyal. So I didn't want to change. I didn't want to change my habits, but I knew I had to for my own health and my own sanity. And then once I got into the gym, was like, this is great. You're stuck with me now.
Is that the same, Maeve? Get on with it and you're stuck.
We'll be in the legends together, won't we, Maeve? Fitness legends. We'll be 90 knocking on your door. Yeah. Can we come in and push the
prowler, please? We'll be pushing the prowler around Tesco.
Jesus. Girls, come here. I'm gonna say thanks a million for coming on. We've been talking about some very serious stuff there for half an hour. Do you realise we've been on for half an hour now?
Sorry.
Just no, sorry, you needed. Two things. Number one, Emily, current reigning, defending member of the year. Okay, I will say on record between myself and John and Bernardo that one of the reasons that you would have been voted was because of the personality and what you bring to the group and the impact you have on others around you, and it's very appreciated. So we really do appreciate it. So thanks a million.
Well, I'm happy because you guys make me happy. So it's like spread the love.
Maeve, something that you didn't even bother mentioning in your little spiel about your achievements is just the dedication that you showed about getting up and running with your running in the first place, and actually showing up day in day out and having the little fucking human beside you and never making an excuse and coming in and getting on the treadmill and running and ending up going out and doing your first 5k again, just to say like that kind of dedication. I think it is that Scorpio thing, isn't it? Obviously. So
yes,
I could never run. I hated running when I was younger. Now when you're in school, I was always laughing. I hated running.
Yeah, you're like fucking Forrest Gump now.
Give me another year.
So I guess I just want to say thanks a million from that side of things. Like you do really like bring so much to the whole group, and it's very appreciated. Like from a personal point of view and from the lads, and just wanted to say that to you.
Thank you. That's lovely to hear.
The last thing I'd say, anybody who's been listening live, I don't know if they've been asking questions because I havenn't been watching.
You're still awake?
Hold on.
They're probably all out in the sun.
Having ice creams.
What kind of saddles are sitting in watching this now?
Hang on, there's a couple of comments here.
God.
They are no Tom Reynolds and Stephen Doyle, but needs must.
Who's that?
I wonder who that's from. Go back to making your homemade sandwiches, Stephen Doyle.
Someone else. These two deserve their own show. Yeah, probably agree with that. I think people watch
podcast. Oh my God, we could just talk all day, couldn't we, Maeve?
We'll give it a bash. We'd give it a bash.
And Amanda just said well done. So that's a nice little thumbs up there. But this actually will be turned into what? Did you see our podcasty thing? I'm turning. This will be one of our little podcasts as well. So I'll share that out with.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet because I still work full time.
Guys, if you're watching in live, thanks a million. If you're listening back in the recorded video, also thanks. Don't be afraid to like and share it out. Appreciate you taking the time to watch us. Don't share it out. I think we're all off to enjoy the sun and barbecues and cake and rub and pet the dogs. I think that's probably a perfect Friday evening. So thanks a million. I'm going to end.
Thanks, Dave. Maeve, I'll see you 10 a.m. session tomorrow.
No problem. Dare and
I'm serious. 10 a.m. Zoom tomorrow.
We're both serious, Without doubt.
Yeah.
Without doubt. Dare and all. Bells on.
We're going. I think we're about off. Hang on.